Summary of Chapter 5, I play peanut cuckle with a horse. Waking in a strange paradise. The chapter begins with Percy Jackson drifting through feverish, animal-filled nightmares. He wakes intermittently to find a curly-haired blonde girl spoon-feeding him a pudding that tastes like buttered popcorn. The girl cryptically demands to know what was stolen and what will happen at the summer solstice. During another brief waking moment, Percy notices a husky surfer-like dude guarding him who possesses a dozen blue eyes scattered across his hands, face, and arms. When Percy finally awakens fully, he is resting comfortably on the deck of a beautiful farmhouse, surrounded by rolling hills and the scent of strawberries. Grover is there, now wearing jeans and an orange Camp Half-Blood t-shirt. To Percy's profound grief, Grover confirms that the battle with the Minotaur was real and that his mother is truly gone. As a bittersweet token, Grover presents Percy with a shoebox containing the snapped-off Minotaur horn. Grover blames himself for failing his duty as Percy's keeper. To help Percy recover, Grover gives him a drink that looks like iced apple juice, but tastes exactly like his mother's homemade blue chocolate chip cookies, instantly rejuvenating Percy's body and giving him a rush of energy. Revelations at the card table. Grover guides a wobbly Percy around the farmhouse, revealing a stunning valley filled with ancient Greek architecture made of sparkling white marble. Percy witnesses teenagers and satyrs playing volleyball, canoeing, practicing archery, and riding winged horses. At the end of the porch, they encounter the blonde-haired girl, Annabeth Chase, and a pudgy, grumpy, middle-aged man named Mr. D, who serves as the camp director. Percy receives a massive shock when the other man at the table turns around. It is Mr. Brunner, his Latin teacher from Yancey Academy. Mr. Brunner invites Percy to join them for a game of peanut cuckle and introduces the intimidating gray-eyed Annabeth, who bluntly tells Percy he drools in his sleep before running off. Mr. Brunner reveals that his true name is Chiron. He explains that he spent the school year at Yancey Academy specifically to instruct and protect Percy because Grover had sensed Percy was someone special. As the card game begins, Chiron drops a major bombshell. The ancient Greek gods are not myths, they're very much alive and operating in the modern world. The true identity of Mr. D. Percy is deeply skeptical, arguing that the gods are just old stories meant to explain science. Mr. D scoffs at Percy's arrogance and casually demonstrates his divine power by waving his hand, causing a goblet of red wine to materialize out of thin air. However, thunder rumbles, and Chiron reminds Mr. D of his restrictions. Reluctantly, Dionysus turns the wine into a can of Diet Coke. Chiron explains the twist. Dionysus is actually the god of wine. His father, Zeus, grounded him at Camp Half-Blood for a century as punishment for pursuing an off-limits wood nymph. When Percy doubts his identity, Dionysus briefly flashes a terrifying, purplish fire in his eyes, showing Percy horrifying visions of madness, vines choking unbelievers, and men turning into dolphins. Terrified, Percy quickly submits and respects the god's power. After winning the card game, Dionysus leaves to take a nap, taking a nervous Grover with him to discuss his less-than-perfect performance on the assignment. Mount Olympus and the Centaur's true form. Left alone with Chiron, Percy asks how the Greek gods can be in America. Chiron explains that the gods move with the heart of the West, a living collective consciousness known as Western civilization. The flame started in Greece, moved to Rome, traveled through Europe, and now burns brightest in the United States. This is why the modern home of the gods, Mount Olympus, is currently located in America, and why American architecture and symbols are saturated with images of the Olympians. Finally, Percy asks the ultimate questions. Who are you, Chiron? Who am I? Chiron smiles and decides it is time to show Percy the truth. He stands up from his wheelchair, but his body keeps rising higher and higher. The blanket falls away to reveal that the wheelchair was a magical hollow box. Chiron's human upper torso is smoothly grafted to the trunk of a massive white stallion. Revealing himself to be a centaur, Chiron sighs of relief that his feticles are no longer cooped up and invites a stunned Percy to go meet the other campers in cabin 11.